How you doing? Very good. So, okay, just wanted to make sure you were. I don't have a camera person, so I'm just making sure you're in frame. Timeless is a new time travel drama. It's going to be airing. And we've seen a lot of time travel dramas on TV, but I know that there's something about this that makes it really special. So what is it to you that makes it special?
I mean, actors are often asked, why did you choose the show, or why are you doing this job or that job or whatever. And in this case, how I like to commercialize our show, why people should see it and stuff, I say, if you've seen Sean Ryan's S.H.I.E.L.D. and if you see Eric Kripke's Supernatural, now imagine these two guys are teaming together to do a time travel show. I so want to see that show. And that's exactly how I felt, and when I read the pilot, I was like, this is going to be something special. This is really unusual. This is like, it has this kind of adventure mode. It has this kind of like fun drive in it, but the characters are grounded in reality. They're not just some flamboyant people, going from one time travel to another. They're like real people. They're people who lost their families. They're people who work as historians in colleges, and it's like, this team is completely taken haphazardly because they were there when Garcia Flynn steals this time machine. So that would be my thinking why the show is so special.
And what can you tell me about your character?
Well, his name is Garcia Flynn. He used to work for NSA, and then he suddenly went rogue. Nobody knows why, but later on you're gonna see that he seen into something that he was not supposed to see, and he didn't like it. He started meddling with things, and that got his family killed. And then he decided to take matters in his own hands, and he steals a time machine and goes back to the past, trying to change things. Maybe trying to bring his family back together, maybe trying to fix things, because you have to understand one thing. The concept of our show, we in today's world, if time machine exists, we who are not included in it, we wouldn't know of the existence. If somebody changes the past, our memories would be changed with it. We would just think this is our reality. So in our show, I like to think it's very questionable, is that the reality that is supposed to be? And who's to say what's supposed to be, what's not? Once we change it in the past, then that's a new reality. So there's a lot of these questions that we are going to be playing with, visiting different time periods, and time periods that are affecting United States directly, that they're affecting global economics, global politics. And it's gonna be a show on a grand scale.
Eric and Sean were telling me that the second episode takes place in 1865, and I've heard you've only shot for one day so far, so can you tell me anything about that at all?
Yeah, sure. We are allowed to talk about that episode because we read it and we're filming it right now. It's about Abraham Lincoln assassination, and I can't tell you, of course, what happens in the end of the episode, but I can tell you that we're asking these questions. Imagine if you're the person on that day in Ford Theater when President Lincoln gets assassinated, if you can stop the assassination from happening, and Lincoln lives 10, 15 years more of his natural life, creates these great, beautiful things and continues in the same direction. Human rights are in such a better position than they were, that they used to be. But something might happen because of that little change that can, down the line, maybe stop Manhattan Project from happening ever again. And Germans developed nukes before us, and the world. I mean, basically, I'm saying you shouldn't be touching it. You just should leave it like it is, because by fixing one thing that you think is really important, and you're definitely doing a great thing, maybe somehow down the line you're going to create some much bigger monster. So this is the first episode after the pilot. The pilot was kind of introduction, Big Bang, Hindenburg, explosion. Now you're going to see, again on that big scale, we're creating the Ford Theater, we're doing 1865, it's the costume, the big scale is still there. But we're asking these questions that audience is going to be answering together with us. What would you do? I mean, what's right thing to do? What's not right thing to do? it's very kind of mind-boggling.
Right. Well, I've seen the first episode. I thought it was phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to the rest. My last question for you is something I'm pretty sure you've been asked before today, but I'll go ahead and ask it anyway. If you could travel somewhere in time yourself, where would you go and why?
You know, my hometown is been there for about 900 years, but the Renaissance was the time that my city, where I was born at, was really built. The houses, the cathedral, the buildings, the palaces, you know, that was a period of time that those couple of hundred years that everything was kind of like happening on a big scale. Invasion of Turks in the same time, but then on the other hand you got the plague. You didn't have sewer, you didn't have running water, you know, it was like, but I'm kind of like living in a dream. It will be interesting and cool to kind of go there to my hometown to see, walk in these same streets, but 500 years in the past. Not even maybe 500, only like 300 years in the past. It would be really interesting to see that the place where I grew up and I spent there my first 20 years of my life. To see it how it was 500 years ago. So same streets, same stones, same homes, but 500 years in the past. It would be pretty wild.
That was a fascinating answer. I really think that was the best answer I've heard all day. That was really good. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.